Who is ready for some multiverse videos? Yes, we know you all screamed for beer biceps, and we will cover that very, very soon around Doctor Strange, the Multiverse of Madness, coming out in 2 weeks. Do you have your tickets already? We do. Anyways, yes, so I just want to let you know those are coming. This video we recorded a while ago. Roger really wanted to see it, and as we're running out of videos now, we're gonna publish it first. So before you comment and let us know what is all wrong in this video, take a deep breath, relax, feel your body, feel your triggers arising, and release them, and then comment. How about that? So cheers to that. Love you. Namaste, world raisers. Sabine and Roger here. Let's watch the multiverse in Hindu cosmology. A request by our very active world raiser.
Me.
Roger.
I requested this video because ever since we watched that episode of Little Krishna where he talks about the multiverse, episode 4, if you haven't watched it, you must. I've been a little bit obsessed with finding out about the multiverse in the Hindu, pantheon.
The universe is a vast and complex place that in many ways we still don't understand. We exist on this relatively tiny rock called Earth, floating around a relatively average star, the Sun. And with the help of modern technology, we've only just begun to explore even a tiny part of the space that surrounds us. Given our modest cosmic standing, then, it's incredible to think that even if we were to somehow explore the entirety of the universe, there might still be more out there. But this is Unveiled, and today we're setting sail to travel the multiverse, and this time through the lens of Hindu cosmology. If you're a fan of science, science fiction, superhero movies, pretty much anything nowadays, then you're probably familiar with the multiverse, the theory that we're all living in only one of possibly infinite parallel universes. And while there's no confirmed scientific consensus as to whether or not the multiverse in any of its many guises is true, it is a concept that has crossovers into faith as well. So for today's video, we're assessing the multiverse as conceived in Hindu cosmology. To understand this multiverse, it's helpful to first consider other aspects of Hindu mythology. For example, there's an important distinction made here between matter and spirit. In Hinduism, the universe is composed of both of these things, with the main difference being that matter is physical and can therefore be destroyed, whereas spirit is non-physical and can so never be destroyed. For Hindus, the physical, material part of existence is then an illusion. And so it follows that the ultimate goal of Hinduism is to reach enlightenment, a level of existence at which one can see through the illusion and realize that all material things are temporary and that the spirit is always more important. The cyclical nature of existence is another major and well-known theme in Hinduism. And ultimately, it's another key aspect to the Hindu multiverse. The idea is that all material things go through 3 main phases of creation, preservation, and destruction. Therefore, again, the physical part of the universe, all things that we can see, feel, hear, and so on, must eventually be destroyed. These 3 phases are often represented by 3 of the most prominent Hindu gods: Brahma the creator, Vishnu the preserver, and Shiva the destroyer. And it's believed that the interactions between these 3 are what fundamentally result in a many-layered reality of multiple universes, a multiverse. In Hindu tradition, the lifespan of the universe corresponds to the lifespan of Brahma, at the end of which Brahma dies and the universe is destroyed with him. Fortunately, though, even after the death of the universe, all is not lost, and a new universe is born out of the ashes of the old. In this way, it's sometimes argued that Hindu cosmology has some similarities with modern scientific theories regarding the universe. Hinduism essentially holds that everything is born from a single point, much like it is in the Big Bang Theory. It then posits that everything eventually collapses into that same point, which comes close to another floated scientific prediction for our universe's fate known as the Big Crunch. What's most important, though, is that because a new creation always follows from destruction in Hinduism, destruction isn't considered a bad thing. After all, the god Shiva, the destroyer, has a divine duty to end the universe in order to pave the way for a new one, and he's worshipped for doing so. Which brings us back to that distinction between matter and spirit. Matter, remember, can be destroyed, but that's fine because the spirit continues. The Hindu multiverse, in one sense then, refers to the fact that the universe is not a single space, but rather infinite spaces occurring one after another. But perhaps even more significantly, across various Hindu texts, there's mention not just of one universe that goes through this cycle of birth, death, and rebirth, but rather many. In some cases, it's suggested that there's an endless number of universes that all coexist at the same time. It's variously said that these universes float around just like atoms do from our perspective, and that each one contains its own Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, its own story of birth, preservation, and destruction. It's said that each universe consists of many unique layers too, including earth, water, fire, air, and sky, to add more detail. But despite these structural similarities, each universe has the potential to be unique. By hosting different creatures, for example, different environments, cultures, and perhaps different rules of nature. And some universes even come with other universes contained inside them. The possibilities are essentially endless then. As such, there are many myths and legends in the ancient texts that refer back to the multiverse, making use of the many variations that it offers. So now we have the idea that each individual universe is moving through a repeating cycle from birth to rebirth, and the idea that this is happening across countless multi-layered, multiple universes that exist on a higher level. You'd perhaps think that the structure of reality must end there, but there's one final concept to incorporate. In the ancient texts, the Puranas, the mythology goes into detail about 14 further worlds, or lokas, that also contribute to the multiverse total. There is some debate as to whether lokas are intended to be taken literally as physical realms or if they're meant as symbolic representations of different levels of consciousness, but in either case, they play a major role. The lokas are located on different planes of existence, with 7 forming the heavens or upper worlds and 7 forming hell or the underworlds. Those belonging to the upper worlds are known as the Vyaritis, and the highest of all of them is the Satyaloka, which is held to be the home of truth and is also where Brahma is said to live. The upper lokas then descend through various levels, all containing various supreme and good deities, until we get back to Earth, which is the first and lowest of the upper worlds. From here, though, we can descend further into the lower 7 lokas, which are called the Pataulas. At the lower stages, we encounter various demons and malevolent forces, until we finally arrived at the lowest and worst level, the Nagaloka. To move from top to bottom of the lokas, then, is a journey from wisdom and enlightenment to immorality and sin. And with Earth situated close to the center, it's easy to see that the lesson contained here is that we, mere human beings, can wind up rising or falling depending on the actions we take during our lives. So now we have a full and rich picture of the Hindu reality. Let's recap. First, there's the idea that the universe moves through a cycle of births and rebirths, producing new universes every time. This cycle is guided by the gods Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, and carries on indefinitely. Second, we have the idea that this cycle is happening across endless universes, not just this one, that exist on a higher plane of reality. These multiple universes are many-layered and are self-contained. Third, and finally, inside each of these many cyclical universes, there's a fundamental structure of lokas, split across 14 levels in total. Earth itself is in the middle, but there are many other realms above and below Earth, too, the highest of which promises peace, the lowest of which promises torment. For the most part, the myths and legends suggest that traveling across the multiverse is difficult, if not impossible, and many of those who do achieve it only do so with the help of at least one divine being. But to finish, we'll again highlight the distinction made at the top of this video between physical matter and the non-physical spirit. When considered against the backdrop of the multiverse, we encounter the possibility that the spirit can go to places that are otherwise impossible for our physical bodies to reach. We're imbued with consciousness, imagination, and emotions like love, fear, and hope. It's these that color or cloud our experience of life, and it's perhaps through these that we can gain a greater understanding. The multiverse in Hindu cosmology is perhaps then as much a spiritual concept as it is a physical one. There are elements of it that share similarities with emerging theories in physical science, yes, but to truly explore this particular version of the multiverse, you must prepare for a journey deep into your soul. Navigate that journey well, and enlightenment can be yours.
Yeah. Woo! That was a pretty cool video. I liked it, right? So head on over to Unveiled. But yeah, that being said, I think there was a few things that might have been a little mistaken, like the Nagaloka. I'm not too sure, but from what I understood from Sri M's book, I don't think it's a lower realm unless Nagaloka means different things, like maybe there's more than one reference to them, and then Brahmaloka being the highest. It depends on which tradition of Hinduism or Sanatan Dharma or which teachings you're coming across, because from my experience there's Krishna Loka, right? And the Vishnu Lokas that are actually, what I heard is that they're beyond the physical universe that we know, and then from Vishnu or Krishna's power, all of the infinite universes he's maintaining and manifesting just using a quarter of his energy, and the rest of his energy is going to maintain and support the realms of existence beyond physical universes, which is just mind-blowing. So yeah, the teachings are indeed saying that we are living in an infinite universe, spinning in a field of infinite universes, infinite universes of infinite size and scope. So anything is possible. It's just mind-boggling to our limited, intellectual, conceptual minds to fathom and comprehend. So that being said, he did say, some very deep truths, right? Spirit, right? Spirit is primary. That's the consciousness. That's the awareness. And then by practicing spirituality, we all have the potentiality to attain enlightenment, which is one with the divine, and then we can kind of graduate from this kindergarten of physical existence into the higher realms beyond, right? So spiritual, existence, entirely, right? So with the help of divine beings, that's great, right? So we have so many possibilities and paths, and potentialities to truly understand, grasp, get on the path, and seek the truth. So whether we can conceptually understand it, or if we, believe it or not believe it, it's kind of besides the point, right? Because it's not like the identity that we've adopted as us, our intellectual mind that thinks, that it exists inherently and separately. Ultimately that being is going to die at the time of death. And that's another, phase of destruction, the destruction of who we think we are now. And then the cyclical, rebirth until eventually, we attain enlightenment, right? And then we go beyond physicality and we reunite with the supreme divinity. But yeah, in this day and age, the multiverse is getting more and more popular, right? So Marvel is picking it up, and it's going to be everywhere. So it's time to really, comprehend what is happening.
It's incomprehensible.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. This video just did something with me again. I think lately I'm a bit receptive to really high-level teachings. And I mean, this was not a spiritual teaching, but it was still something that if you try to grasp it, it just, makes your mind explode. And it feels like I'm trying to grasp it. And so it's like, I'm trying, and it's like, and something is opening, something is widening.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I also got emotional, is I don't know, I feel like there is some recognition of the vastness and the potentiality of everything, and it's just like, wow, it's beautiful. It's like there is no limitation in this creation, in this divine play, unfoldment. It's I mean, how amazing, right? That we don't have to put labels and limitations on things if we believe that anything is possible.
Yeah, so I also thought, an incredible video. Obviously, you took some time and some effort to research and, create this incredible video. But I am curious as to, what was not so clear and maybe some things that he didn't get right. So that's why I look to you, our wonderful world raisers, part of this community, and our wonderful commentators. So if you want to shed light on anything that might have been, wrong, just so for me and Sabine and anybody else who comes along the video, we can read the comments and then just see. So we love it. We actually love it when you guys correct things and correct us. Yeah, kindly. Because we're learning. We're learning and we're growing. And right now, it's all about Hinduism for us and really learning and understanding such an incredibly diverse and, huge, content of spirituality, Vedas, Upanishads, and all of it, Puranas. So if you want to shed any light on this video, please help us out. And of course, if you like this video as much as we did, please hit that like button. And remember to subscribe if you haven't already to stay up to date, and it really helps us out. Let us know in the comments. And remember, raise yourself.
And raise the multiverse. I'm not sure anymore.
Raise the multiverse.
The world within the infinite multiverses or something.
Yeah, let's raise this world, and then we can focus on other worlds.
So thank you, and peace. I'm done.